Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bold American Podcast presented by Barstool Sports. Right now, Ryan and Rob are at the Military Influencer Conference, and we're going to get into that before we get into the last 72, because I'm very interested to hear about that, and I have some thoughts about that conference in general, and then a few other stories around the military. There is a 4-star retired admiral who's in some hot water for a bribery scam that he perpetrated while on active duty. There's a restaurant down in Kentucky, which is in a lot of trouble for denying service to a disabled veteran and her service dog. And unfortunately, there was a very bad training accident that took the lives of 4 soldiers. And we will discuss that. And all of that is going to be brought to you by new partner here, Boll and Branch. All right. Listen, I was on Boll and Branch a long time ago. And then they came along and they said, we're going to be working with you guys and we're going to send you some sheets. And I was like, fantastic. I already have Boll and Branch sheets. So now I'll just get some new Boll and Branch sheets. That's how much I enjoy them. Listen, they are made with the finest 100% organic cotton in a soft, breathable, durable weave. They have quality you can feel immediately and become even softer with every wash. And that is incredibly true. I remember the first night we slept on, my wife and I both said, whoa, that's pretty ridiculously comfortable. I don't know if you guys have put them on your beds yet. I know you received some. I'm sure you're enjoying them. So listen, and you can try them out, and they come with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. So that's always good. I can't imagine you're not going to like them, but if for some reason you don't, you can send them back. So feel the difference an extraordinary night's sleep can make with Boll and Branch. And that's so important. We spend a third of our life in bed. All right. And I think you forget that when you're younger and you're first out on your own and you're buying a bed and sheets and you might try to like skimp on some things. And it's like, no, stop doing that. A third of your life is spent in bed. This is where you want to take care of yourself. So you get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/bold. That's Boll and Branch. BOLLAND. I should actually do that phonetic since this is the military podcast. Bravo, Oscar, Lima, Alpha, November, Delta, branch.com/Bravo, Oscar, Lima, Delta to save 15% right away. Exclusions apply. You'd be a silly goose not to go get some Boll and Branch sheets. All right, before we get into the last 72, as I mentioned, you guys are at the Military Influencer Conference right now. So please tell me all about that and what's going on there. Where is it and what the heck is it?
We are in Atlanta, looking at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium to my left. And, I think this is the 6th or 7th year for the Military Influencer Conference. This is my first year here. It's a lot of industry people coming together to talk about best practices, talk about their products. And, Rob's the influencer, not me. So I'm just like tagging along.
Yeah, so that was a good layup there, Ryan. So I think it's year 6 or 7 or 8. They've been doing a great job of highlighting nonprofits, product companies, veteran started businesses, and you get to run into awesome people like Austin von Lankman. Mandatory Fun Day, maybe one of the biggest influencers out there in the military space. So shout out to Austin. You want to say anything?
Yeah. Where are you sending the nicotine pouches?
Oh,
you
fuck!
Said if I came on here as a year's supply, right?
Yeah. Where do you want them to go? But as you can see, you run into some old friends, and you just get a fuck around and meet some new friends, and help veterans out and all that. So it's a good time. We miss you, Connor.
Yeah.
I was going to say it to whomever runs this conference. I've never been invited. My previous co-host, we've never been invited.
Wow.
We've never been invited. So as of right now, I don't like this conference because fact is we're going on year 10 of being one of the pioneers in this space and have never been invited to this so-called, biggest
That's
thing
crazy.
in military influencer world. So I'm a little salty if you can't hear it in my voice already. And I'm happy to hear that they're highlighting like veteran businesses and veteran run organizations. I think that's important because I initially thought it was just like people like Austin who do, the influencer thing. So it's nice that they're trying to prop up good causes and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just flabbergasted. I don't know how they decide who gets invited and who doesn't, but never been invited.
That's a shame, Connor, and I didn't realize that. I don't know why I was invited, honestly. I don't really know why I'm here. You know, the lag's going to be fine on our side. But
you
we
were invited
did just
because
spend
you're
some time with
CEO
the
of
VA
a
secretary.
massive organization, so that makes sense that you were invited, Ryan.
That's what I was going to say, Connor.
You don't have to placate me like I'm like, you know, some child. You don't have to feel bad for me. It's not your fault that I haven't been invited. Whomever puts this conference on, you know, that's their problem as to why I wasn't invited, why Chaps wasn't invited, why Kate wasn't invited, why Barstool in general wasn't invited.
Yeah, no, I honestly think it's crazy. I will say though that, you know, we I did a roundtable discussion with the VA secretary this morning, and he gave a shout out to Bold American and Barstool, and talked about why he's going on these different platforms. Rob and I had a chance to talk to him, and specifically talk to him about how they're utilizing social media, which was great. And then we also got to ask him the most burning question that everyone wants to know. And that's his prediction for Army Navy. And we'll be sharing that tomorrow. I was pleasantly surprised by his answer and not shocked at all, but you know, good conversation there for sure.
Yeah. Also just it's a quickly preface, man, what a long fucking day. But I picked up Ryan this morning in the lobby and I walked her around, and you know, it was kind of like walking a queen to her castle, because she had to find her Travis Manion booth, and I don't think, given the mental state she was in this morning, she was well equipped to find it. So I actually walked her through the exhibition floor to show her where her own company booth was, and I felt very proud of that, Connor. I think you would have been very proud of me too. So, but no, it's great to see Ryan in person, and obviously shoot the shit with the secretary of the VA.
This is our first time meeting in person.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
I think
it's like Love is Blind or something.
That works.
No,
sorry. Yeah. Listen, just to listeners, if there's any awkward pauses, it's because the Military Influencer Conference couldn't spring for the good Wi-Fi. So right now we're dealing with a lot of pauses, and it's not because I can't hear Ryan and Rob. It's just like we're getting caught up in these intermittent situations where their Wi-Fi is going in and out. So I blame the Military Influencer Conference, and I will continue to say not nice things until I'm invited. And I don't even know if I want to go. So we'll see. But Ryan, you were mentioning, and forgive me for repeating here, you were mentioning you met with the VA secretary and he talked about the Army-Navy game and he gave a prediction?
He did. Yeah. We'll be playing that tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah. We'll share his prediction tomorrow morning on our channel.
Okay. All right. Well,
we'll make sure to tag you in it.
I'm sure I know what he's going to say already, and that's fine.
And Connor, one thing on the military influencer note, isn't it ironic how, you know, the military in all its magnitude and history of successful comms and communications has an issue of communication when you're trying to broadcast a fucking show and relay sound bites and audio and visual. It's like we never left the military, dude. It's the same shit over and over again. But anyways, I really apologize to our listeners about the quality of this audio and visual feed, but we'll make it up to you next week.
Yeah, not the end of the world. Not surprised, but we live, we learn. What is it that we say in the military? Adapt and overcome, right? So, improvise, adapt, overcome.
How many lieutenants does it take?
The phrase I was looking for there. Anyway, all right. You kind of alluded to it a little bit, Rob, that Ryan was not in the best mental state this morning. So let's get into the last 72. Ryan, I want to hear all about your trip to Clemson University to visit your goddaughter, I think it was, and you attended your first legitimate college football tailgate. And we're excluding Army-Navy from the college football tailgate discussion because it's always at a neutral site. It's not a traditional college football tailgate that one might find.
We just get through Clemson
on a college campus.
Because
so, tell me all about Clemson.
Yeah. So you guys know I was sharing some content, and sharing some content privately with you guys.
Mhm.
I shared the nice PG stuff with the
I
rest
mean,
of
that picture you put up of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily call that PG. Like, you were fairly visibly intoxicated in that picture that you posted.
Really? Did I look drunk in that picture?
I thought it
Did I
was.
look
I thought it
drunk?
was. Yeah. I mean, not sober,
I mean,
but good lighting. Yeah, it's questionable.
so here's my thing. You told me that, ACC, SEC tailgate is going to be so much better than an Eagles tailgate. And I get why you said that. Like, when I got down there, I understood, because it is, for better lack of a word, it's like bougie, right? But it's beautiful spreads, it's beautiful bars, it's top shelf liquor. I'm at Clemson. It was wild. Everyone was wearing an orange polo and khaki shorts. Okay.
So the stereotype is true.
The stereotype
Okay.
is so true. Now, I can fully understand why you say that that's better, more fun. I get it. I don't agree. Like, for me, my type of tailgate is, just a little more down to earth. I had to dress up for this tailgate. It was like, you have to be dressed up. I
kind of ride with that. I kind of like
Me
that.
too.
I like the Eagles tailgates. No, see, and no wonder. I mean, look at you. Look how you're like.
That's
Look
true.
at you right now, sitting in your house with your collared shirt and your little vest. I said, this is the most dressed up I've been for this podcast in existence, and it's
That's
only
true.
because I'm wearing a blazer because of where I am.
I'm wearing a fucking army.
you look
PT
sharp,
jacket
dude.
When I met this,
Ryan,
like,
but also
But-
too, I think, and I've been making a lot of generalizations lately, sweeping generalizations. I would say the appearance, just the overall, how people look. I'm trying to make this not sound mean. The people at the Clemson tailgate collectively are probably more attractive than the people at an Eagles tailgate.
Oh, that was
Right or wrong?
mean. I mean, what do you mean by that?
I'm not saying people are ugly
Calling
at the
Eagles fans
Eagles
ugly,
tailgate. I'm
Connor?
just saying. I would say
we're like, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna actually say something that may not offend people, but like, I think it just like you walk onto, and I'll give a shout out to West Point too. You walk onto West Point camp, you go to an Army Navy tailgate, you see the midshipmen, you see the cadets. Those are good looking guys. They look like men. They're good looking, and I don't want to sound, as a 40-something-year-old woman.
Keep going.
But like, I went to Clemson. They all look like little boys. They're little scrawny boys,
Ooh.
smoking cigs, drinking beers, feeling like they're hot shit. That like I literally sent my goddaughter a text, and I was like, Clemson boys are chopped.
I
was
do like that they're still smoking cigarettes, though.
Yeah, there was a lot.
That's kind of cool.
There was a lot of smoking. I ended up at a frat party at 5 p.m. I was at a frat party with I was sending you guys videos.
Yeah.
I was in my prime. I was loving it.
Did you get a hit on?
I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
I did get carded.
Okay.
When I went into a bar, and I was like,
Okay,
"Are you
fair enough.
serious?" But yeah, I mean, I liked the experience at Clemson. Never seen anything like it. I didn't go to a big school like that. But as far as comparing that to an Eagles tailgate, I'll take an Eagles tailgate all day, every day.
I respect that.
But I understand why you would like a Clemson tailgate better.
So next year we're all going to Clemson. We should do a Clemson tailgate. Your thought, daughter?
I mean, I had the best time ever. Keg stands, shot skis.
Can't you do that at an Eagles tailgate?
Yeah.
Keg stands and shot skis? Okay.
Yeah, but I was in a dress at this tailgate with cowboy boots. So, I
Let's
wasn't as
talk about that for a
agile at
second.
this
How do you feel
tailgate.
going to a football game dressed in a very presentable manner as opposed to looking like a bag of trash in like jeans and a hoodie?
Presentable manner. Wait, you don't think I look presentable when I go to Eagles tailgates?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, you don't think I look presentable when I go
No,
to an Eagles
you
game?
actually, I think you wear hoodies and jeans well. I'm just saying in general, like
Thank
you
you.
would agree you were more dressed up a little more for that Clemson tailgate, right, than you do normally for the Eagles game.
Yeah, listen, Eagles fans don't give a shit what they look like.
Oh
I will
no,
be the
that's
first
very
to say
clear.
that.
That's very
Like,
clear. They make that abundantly clear.
yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But I would much rather be super chill in a hoodie and jeans if I'm going to drink. I drank for 13 hours.
That's good.
13 hours,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And you're still here on Monday. That's good.
Still here.
So wait,
good.
what
Yeah.
what was like your big
So-
takeaway though, just from the day in general? You know,
My big takeaway is if I went to Clemson for college, I would have never made it through 4 years. 100% would have never made it through because I would have partied my ass off and I never would have graduated.
Didn't you do that already in college?
I did, but I went to a small school, so I
okay.
squeaked my way through.
Okay.
I never would have been able to go to a big school like that and graduate. There's no way.
yeah, that is not surprising to hear because you're a good time. So when presented with that, but I think what it is when you do go to those schools, there are some people that take every advantage. I think, but there are some people that like they don't. They know how to put a governor on themselves a little bit just because it's readily available as much as it is, as opposed to, if you only go visit there once in a while and you want to go balls to the wall, as opposed to if you go to school there, you might like kind of take it easy. And not every game is like the craziest day of your entire existence.
Yeah, and let's also and then we'll move on because but like Clemson.
Yeah, they're not too good this year. Having a rough
my
year.
God.
Oh, yeah.
They're terrible. I mean, Navy and Army are both ranked above them. They're terrible. They lost to
Solid.
Syracuse. They had a 17.5-point spread, and they got killed. I left after the first quarter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Back to the frat party?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I went to a
sick.
bar and watched the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
that's good.
Yeah.
Can you get drinks in Tiger Stadium? Can you drink there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was just so hot, I just left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, Rob, how was your last 72?
Amazing. I was supporting friends who put on the biggest Oktoberfest in Las Vegas. So Friday and Saturday, I was out and about helping them with some stuff, shooting content, just being a force of good and the good, authentic German I am, supporting them. But no, it was great. Very little issues. There was like 30,000 people there. So just great to see an Oktoberfest of that size in the U.S. And successful. So, and now we're in Atlanta. Flew out here late last night, and I got to tell you that 3-hour time change, West Coast to East Coast, does something to you. Like, I could not sleep last night. I was a little nervous about the conference too. Not nervous, but like good anxious. I don't know if you guys get that before a conference where you're just kind of like, oh, I have all these people to see. I have all this shit to do. So good anxiety with the time change. Still got to work out on this morning. Still here recording with my two favorite co-hosts. So yeah, good last 72.
That's good. Mine was filled with toddlers, birthday parties. There was an Elsa spotting at one point at one of the birthday parties. But one thing that became abundantly clear this weekend, now as a toddler parent, if you're listening and you have kids anywhere from like 2 to 5 or 6 years old, I think the best investment you can get for your home is a bouncy house. My sister-in-law bought my daughter a bouncy house, and now the last few times we've had people over and with little kids, we put that thing out. It's like another babysitter. It's there's really almost no way for them to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
They will play on it for hours at a time. And they're relatively inexpensive. It's not, $40 on Amazon. It's a little bit more expensive than that. But I think it's worth its weight in gold. So I always try to steer clear of giving advice to other parents because I think that's an exercise in futility. And I even wrote a blog last week about how I think anybody who tries to unprompted give advice to other parents is either full of themselves or is just trying to pander and make money. Because I don't believe that anybody knows your kids. And my wife is the one who pointed this out to me a while ago. But nobody knows your kid better than you. So to take advice from other people. However, you can kind of like steer people in the right direction. If this is one of the areas where I would feel comfortable steering people in the right direction, like, hey, go get a bouncy house. It's a perfectly awesome way to entertain kids outside. And it does tire them out as much as kids can get tired out. And they don't get bored with it. And obviously now the discussion around, being outside versus screens inside, it's just a great way to get away from screens, be outside and keep your kids busy for a few hours while you're sitting there and relaxing, watching some football and hanging out with some friends. So get a bouncy house if you have kids or you're planning to have kids. That's my advice or my direction.
Do you go in the bouncy house too? Do you go in the bouncy house?
No,
Connor?
so the one we
beers?
have is much too small for an adult. I would probably break it. I'm merely in charge of the setup and breakdown of said bouncy house. So that's probably for the best, because I could see a world where if it was in a bouncy house that supported adults, kids go to bed, adults may have had too much to drink, adults get in the bouncy house. That's when I think people start to get hurt.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the best. It's just nice and small.
Fair
and then
enough.
The other thing is too is setup and breakdown is very easy. And if anybody wants the link to the one I'm talking about, just send me a DM. I'll send you the link. All right. Sorry, really quickly wrapping it up with the military influencer conference. Did you guys see anyone, meet anyone that you had not known before that you're like, oh, that was a good person to have met? I said,
wait, who was
in this
a good
conference
person?
that you guys are at? Yes. Has there been anybody that you were impressed by or that you had a nice time meeting?
I mean, it just started today. I'm an introvert, so I don't really go out and talk to people.
I'll answer first. She was very excited to meet me in person.
That was my most exciting thing, honestly. I was like, yeah, I get to talk to Rob in person. That was exciting for me.
Same. And then I was not able to attend the recording with the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. So meeting the Honorable Secretary just now was very cool for me. Very charming, easygoing guy. His wife is also very sweet. And then obviously seeing Morgan, again, his director of comms. So that was cool. And then bumping into Austin over here.
Yeah, I met Austin. I think Austin's awesome. I just met him. So that was cool. And, another thing for me is like, I don't really go to conferences, so I don't get to like be around a lot of people within the industry. But like, I ran into like my brother's commanding officer from 1st Recon Battalion. Like, that's awesome. Love that. Love that I can like walk around and see someone like that. So yeah. Good stuff.
I will say, just in general, being around the military conference community, it's unbelievable, I think. For as large as the military is, it's also kind of very small in a lot of ways. So the idea that you might run into people that you know or that know people that you're friends with is quite common in my experience. So that aspect of it is very cool. All right, we're gonna fly through these stories because seriously, this internet is giving us fits. I think we're doing a decent job trying to get through it, but I am sad that I had to listen through pauses for Ryan's Clemson story.
I know we were so looking forward to telling it.
I need to hear about from your weekend. But anyway, our first story comes to us from the Navy. There is a retired 4-star admiral who was once the second highest uniformed officer in the Navy, retired Admiral Robert P. Burke. He was commanding forces in Europe and Africa when he engaged in a bribery. So he was convicted of 4 counts, including conspiracy and accepting a bribe from Next Jump and their 2 co-CEOs, Charlie Kim and Megan Messenger. The long and short of this is that he, in agreeing to prop their company up, he was going to get a $500,000 salary when he retired, along with a lot of stock options. And I'm just kind of curious, because I think I have an interesting take on this, but I'm curious what you guys think about this, that this retired admiral was essentially just, going tit for tat and a little quid pro quo in the hopes that he'd have a good job upon retiring. What do you think about it?
I mean, to some extent, every flag officer is kind of already doing it. It's kind of just the skill you do it. And I think there's some professionalism and there's ways to go about setting yourself up for success after the military. Obviously, taking bribes is not it, but I mean,
Yeah, screw him. I'm glad he got caught.
yeah, no, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm happy he got caught, but
Yeah.
I think people are doing it, and it's just not really reported yet. But anyways,
Rob, I agree with you. I do think it happens quite often, but it happens in a more natural way. Like it happens in the sense that guys just network with their buddies who are already civilians and have jobs, and
we're at the military influencer
Yeah,
conference.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But they do it in a natural way of networking, which is just part of the world that we live in. Networking is just an aspect of the business world, and I think that's perfectly okay. Where it's not okay is that he was doing nefarious things and helping companies get contracts, which, if you know anything about federal contracting, is incredibly difficult. So the idea that he was fast tracking these people, knowing he was going to get something on the back end, just not cool all around, very dishonest, and honestly just not necessary. Because guess what? You got 4 stars on your shoulders. You're going to have all sorts of job offers, unless you're just completely incompetent, or like this admiral who's going to go to jail for 10 years possibly. You're going to have plenty of job offers waiting for you on the back end of your service. So you don't need to go through these greedy hoops, so to speak, to land yourself a job. So
yeah, and also, I mean, every general, every officer actually post military service time really, honestly, truly looks forward to just posting on LinkedIn. So, if you just kind of go and play the game and get out, you can always find yourself a job on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Through LinkedIn.
Yes. Actually, and Ryan, let me ask you, as somebody who is responsible for hiring people there at the Travis Manion Foundation, answer this as best you can and as honestly as you can. If
Sure.
someone was a 4-star admiral, I mean, unless they're incompetent, you're probably going to give them a job, right?
So you said if they're a veteran? Say that again, Connor. You're saying if they're a veteran?
a 4-star admiral or any veteran for that matter.
Yeah,
they're gonna
so
have to get the
like
benefit of the
we
doubt
put
from you,
veteran
right? And
preferred.
likely get a job.
Yeah, I mean, we put veteran preferred on when we're posting. So we do give preferential treatment to veterans when we're hiring.
Yeah.
So that's no secret.
And I mean, that's no secret for a lot of organizations. So the fact that this guy did this, that was just a case of being greedy, and he gets anything that's coming to him. So,
They're also making money as a general. Like, why would you, dude? Just wait a couple years, man.
I mean, because here's the thing: like, even as your 4-star general, and the pay scale is out there, so somebody could look it up. I don't know. You're making you're clearing $200K, but like $500K. The idea that you're going to like double your salary,
that's a lot.
Can be very appealing.
You literally just have
to a lot of people on top of whatever sort of retirement pay you're going to get. So, I get that it can be tempting. You just need to know better, and it's not that hard to know better that you shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, you know what else you shouldn't be doing? Kicking veterans out of your restaurant. So the Oasis Mediterranean restaurant down in Chevy Chase, Lexington, Kentucky, is in some hot water and getting a lot of blowback. And they actually got a $25,000 fine because there was a disabled Navy veteran who came into the restaurant with her service dog and was physically blocked from going to the buffet and eating. And she filed charges to say, hey, I shouldn't have been treated like this because it's very clear that my dog had a disabled veteran's service dog vest on. What are you doing? And this restaurant got in trouble. My question to you, though, is, have service dogs gotten out of control? Do too many people have service dogs?
Yes.
Oh, good question.
Yes.
I would say yeah.
I would say yes to the extent of where they can bring them anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's no like paperwork for a service dog. Listen, I have a service dog. I'm not bringing my service dog to the grocery store with me, you know? I just don't. Cause I don't need to. And so, yeah, I think that it's too many people are, I don't want to get into the veteran thing. I'm talking more
Yeah.
holistically, like for society as a
Yes.
whole. You know, everybody's got these service dogs, and you see people walk around with like freaking 10-pound poodles, and they're like, "It's my service dog." Like for what?
They're
you
really
know?
smart dogs.
You know, when you get into the service, do you remember where like they had on airplanes? It was like someone brought like a service like parrot, like they were bringing like wacky like exotic animals and claiming them as like service animals. Like that's actually insane.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. So yeah,
I agree.
we need to revamp the service animal industry and put more regulations around it.
We should have an AI agent be the enforcer for that. I think we should use AI to its fullest extent.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
To stop this crisis.
My previous co-host Chaps, everybody knows, or for those who don't, he was a dog handler, and I trust his opinions on dogs pretty implicitly. And even he has said, I remember one time he had said, like, it's out of hand with people and how everything is a service animal now, and it's really just kind of deteriorated what they're initially intended for. And that's unfortunate for those people who genuinely do need to have them with them. So it's, we got to maybe revamp that somehow. Final story today, some unfortunate news. And this is the sort of thing that I think now that we're not, and I shouldn't say we're not at any sort of large scale conflict right now. We certainly have soldiers, sailors, Marines deployed all over the world doing things in harm's way, but not to the scale that we saw in GWAT and prior to that. So the idea that service members are still being killed is not something that we expect to see with the frequency that we did during GWAT. But unfortunately, 4 soldiers from the very well-known 160th SOAR Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, had a helicopter crash the other day, and it took the lives of 4 soldiers. And I'm just going to read their names here. It was U.S. Army Chief Warrant Officer 3, Andrew Cully, 35 years old, from Sparta, Missouri. U.S. Army Chief Warrant Officer 3, Andrew Krause, 39, from Sanibel, Florida. U.S. Army Sergeant Donovan Scott, 25, from Tacoma, Washington. And U.S. Army Sergeant Jadalyn Good, 23, from Mount Vernon, Washington. And I just wanted to mention their names because I think, as I said, now that we are not at any sort of large-scale conflicts, I think things of this nature sometimes get brushed under the rug. But it is still very much a dangerous profession that folks are in, serving in the military. Even in training environments, things can go wrong, even with all the safety precautions we take. And I think, speaking from my own experience, sometimes you get exhausted with going through all the safety precautions and safety measures. You're like, why do we do this? And you realize it is important so that accidents don't happen. Sometimes accidents, I think, can be preventable. Not all accidents are preventable, though, and they're just sometimes acts of God, unfortunate. But we wanted to mention their 4 names and thank them for their service and ultimate sacrifice here. And it's just very unfortunate to see that story come across our desks. So not much else really to say about that, unless you guys had anything to add there.
No, I mean, again, just I think as a Gold Star sister, it's just I'm always constantly pushing that, just like you said, Connor, it's very easy right now for the rest of society to not fully grasp that there are men and women that are putting their lives on the line every single day. And there are thousands of men and women that continue to be deployed, and so it's important. I think it's important that we put these stories up front. There's so much going on in the news cycle right now. And I hope that, of course we're seeing it and it's coming across our feeds because of who we follow. And, but I hope that the rest of the country gets to honor these 4 service members as well.
No, that's perfectly well said, because, just because it wasn't in combat doesn't mean their sacrifice is means anything less than if it were in combat. Ultimately, they still gave their lives training to do something very difficult. Yeah. And for those who don't know about the 160th, I'm not going to go into detail, but just go Google 160th and all these unbelievable operations that we've done in the last 20, 30 years that the American public knows about. Well, more often than not, it was the 160th that was flying people to get to where they were going. So they're the real deal. So take some time to read up about them. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Any caveats? Did we miss anything? What do you guys got?
I got nothing other than the Wi-Fi at the Military Influencer Conference is not.
It's not it. It's super
not
mid.
it. We're going to have to work on that for next year. And next year, it should be all three of us.
We'll see if I get invited.
Here, it will
we'll see.
Well, it will. I will make sure of that. And yeah, that's about it.
We'll have a rotating show. We'll have rotating guests, I think would be the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They actually like a media row here. Like we could be like set up there. It'd be kind of cool.
There's no
That'd
reason.
Be perfect.
Why not?
That'd be perfect. Yeah. All right.
We'll do it after we do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Only thing I got for those golf fans out there, we got the Ryder Cup this week, which is a big deal. Ryder Cup happening at Bethpage Black there on Long Island. It's pretty much a pick'em in terms of, if you go on DraftKings in terms of Team Europe versus Team USA in terms of who's favored. But I like the United States' chances. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, I'm going to watch because I'm a golf fan. I can watch just about any sport if it's USA versus anybody else.
Right. Even if it's soccer, right, Connor?
I actually can kind of I wouldn't put soccer in that bucket. I actually kind of do enjoy watching soccer. So I'll watch soccer a little bit more. But I'm trying to think of a sport that I don't want, like handball. I don't watch handball on the regular. I think handball is cool or whatever. I don't watch that regularly, but if it's, maybe the Olympics and it's the U.S. playing somebody, I'll watch handball. But I'm looking forward to the Ryder Cup.
Speaking of handball, shout out to my boy Jason Borchek and all the West Pointers Army guys I know on team handball and sand handball. They're crushing it.
I have one more. I do have one caveat. Did anyone catch the Eagles game yesterday?
Yeah.
Go Birds.
I didn't hear a single word you just
Giants,
said.
Connor,
legitimately, I'm not just making that up. So if that was a dig at me and Rob in some way, I didn't hear anything you just said.
I said, did you catch the Eagles game?
No,
Go
the
Birds.
Eagles game was bananas. No, good for you guys. The Giants are still lost. They're in a house of horrors.
We're so
bad. And sorry, if we want to talk football really quickly, as it relates to the Giants, my biggest fear for the Giants is they're going to go away from Russell Wilson and go to Jackson Dart too early. And I just don't think the Giants are shaped this year to have a good year one way or the other. So why are you going to hurt him or destroy his confidence by putting him into a bad situation? Let Russell Wilson play out the year, and then you bring in Jackson Dart next year.
Yeah.
So I was talking football. All right.
Agreed.
Wi-Fi stinks. We'll figure it out for next week. But in the meantime, take care. Make it a great week.